Hey, what's up? It's your boy Dope Fury. Got that weekly commentary. People have been saying that the honeymoon phase of fighting games is over, but I want to take you all down memory lane. While I don't disagree, I still think we're in a golden age of fighting games, and every game right now has the potential to be great. My last video on this subject got a bunch of dislikes, but I'm gonna double down on everything I said. People have rose-tinted glasses about fighting games of the past. Like, did you guys forget how bad Street Fighter V launched? Or how bad MK11's reception was before Aftermath? And people were crying about rage mechanics and 2D fighters and Tekken. Even Smash Bros. Ultimate, once the honeymoon phase wore off, people were criticizing it for being too oonga boonga. Guilty Gear Strive, apparently it was slowed down. I don't play anime fighters, but from what I read, Guilty Gear Strive is slower than the past games and people said it's too easy. So fighting games have always had their controversy, but people are acting like they're just acting brand new. So in my opinion, the big three fighting games are Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat. Smash Brothers would be there, but unfortunately they haven't been making a lot of noise lately. And Marvel vs. Capcom, I mean, the game's like 20 years old now or something, right? Not 20, but you get my point. You know, they haven't made as much noise, so I'm not going to talk about those ones today. Tekken and Mortal Kombat 1 especially is getting a lot of bad press recently. And when Street Fighter 6 released, it had some backlash too. People didn't like how strong Ken and JP were and Luke. Drive Rush was seen as a broken mechanic. So I want to discuss some past memories of fighting games that were just as negative. And hopefully, listening to this video, you can appreciate how good things are right now. As people are acting as if microtransactions just magically popped up in fighting games, and they haven't been prevalent since Street Fighter Cross Tekken, when they put in the gem system. And that game is like 10 years old. So let me give you some other examples of why people aren't really too happy about today's fighting games. So like I said, Street Fighter players aren't happy with the Drive Rush, Tekken players are heated about Heat, MK fighters aren't happy with the cameo system, but the last generation had all sorts of controversies. You know, all sorts of new mechanics that we had to get used to. Tekken 7 had super moves, which has never been a thing in any Tekken game ever, and we had 2D fighters like Akuma, Geese, Eliza, Noctis from Final Fantasy. You had a fighter named Punko. He came over from the Street Fighter scene into the Tekken scene, and he was putting in work. He was destroying top, or at least high-level fighters at tournaments, because it was so weird to adapt to having a 2D fighter in Tekken, and a lot of people didn't like that. Super Akuma has, you know, a lot of people that hate him because he uses a 2D fighter as his main. But eventually we got used to that, and that became part of Tekken's identity, and now Tekken 8 doesn't have that, but at the very least we got used to it, you know? And people don't like the Heat mechanic, but in Street Fighter V they had V-trigger. At least when it comes to Heat in Tekken 8, you have to actually land a hit in order to get the full meter. If you just do a raw activation, then it's not really gonna give you the whole benefit. Whereas in Street Fighter, you can activate V-trigger anytime you're not in a combo or on the ground. Like when you're on the ground and you're not in a combo, you can do it. Like you can do a jab, and whether they block it or whether it hits, you can enter V-trigger mode. And if the move that you throw hits, then every damage from that point is guaranteed. So you just throw it out and whatever happens, happens, and then you're just mixing people up and you're in the Super Saiyan mode, you know? But Capcom Pro Tour was still successful despite that, you know? And it was really nice to see. I like seeing Punk and Mena RD, NuckleDu. Their matches were very exciting despite this crazy mechanic that people saw as broken, you know? And in Mortal Kombat, people didn't like the breakaway system and the armored wake-ups and so on, and all of the games had their balancing problems, but the point I'm trying to say is, despite these shortcomings, we pushed through it, we fought through it, and we made these games so popular. Tekken 7 sold so well, like 10 million plus copies, maybe even 11 million copies as of this year. Mortal Kombat 11 was huge. So many people that don't really play fighting games got into it because of the positive reception that we gave to it, despite these breakaway mechanics and blah blah blah. We're the ones who made these games sell so well. So now, because of a couple of hiccups in today's generation, we're gonna bring out the pitchforks and knives and I don't buy it, man. I think it's rage bait. You know, people say that Raiden and Johnny Cage are broken in Mortal Kombat. Ken Masters and Luke are running the scene in Street Fighter, and you had Devil Jin and Dragunov in Tekken. They're god tier characters right now, just crapping all over everybody. We're gonna forget that Luke was in Street Fighter V and Seth, Abigail, Akuma, Rashid, Urian, like how many strong characters. And in Tekken, we had a character that was so broken, they planned his nerfs before they even released him. Yeah, I'm talking about Leroy Smith. And we had Fakumram with his 10 frame grab, Akuma with his death combos, Geese Howard with his max mode, Season 2 Jin, the perfect Tekken fighter. Like, there was so much broken stuff all throughout Tekken's lifespan, but nobody boycotted it. Oh, I'm going back to Tekken Tag Tournament 2 because this game's too broken. That never happened. Now all of a sudden people are so outspoken and people are talking so much crap. I don't buy it, man. You know? I mean, Tekken World Tour Finals or Evo Grand Finals was Kunimitsu versus Kunimitsu. That's DLC versus DLC. And same thing with Mortal Kombat. It was Fujin versus Fujin. So there's always been these broken characters that just destroy everybody. But now everyone's acting like, oh, broken characters in a fighting game. The shock, the horror. And I don't like fighting Devil Jin. I don't like fighting Dragunov. I don't like fighting Johnny Cage. But I use Raiden, so I can't even complain about that. But at the end of the day, this has been integral in fighting games. They make it unbalanced on purpose for whatever reason, you know? So that's what I'm trying to say. Remember when Shiva came out and her stomp was so broken, she was pissing people off? I think there's a clip of someone who literally was in tears crying because Shiva's stomp was so cheap. You know what I mean? But people are going back to MK11. Give me a break, man. I know I made a video that was like, you know, making fun, oh, Tekken 8 is more popular than MK1, but that doesn't mean I think MK1 is a bad game. You know, like, I had a decent time. I hope I didn't say MK1's a bad game in my past video, and then someone hits me with the, hey, this you? But anyways, but yeah, I just played the Invasions mode and I had a good time. You know, it's the same repetitive, beat the computers up, do the same combo, but it was still fun. You know, sometimes they have armor and stuff. It was fun, you know? Remember Smash Brothers Ultimate when Bayonetta, Smash Bros 4 when Bayonetta was running the show? Because it wasn't even the last generation of fighting games that were broken either. Even before that, Nintendo Wii U, Bayonetta was crushing everybody in Smash Brothers. Cloud, Corrin, you know, like Diddy Kong. Diddy Kong was a nightmare to fight against. I was a Diddy Kong main. Marvel Infinite had Reality Stone, just destroying everybody. I mean, everyone's just, oh, fighting games. I don't know. It frustrates me because when I search on my favorite games, all I see is negativity. Oh, this is garbage. This is broken. This is greedy. Scandal, drama. Like, it's getting old. And that was the whole point of my last video. And you guys can dislike my opinion all you want. It's not going to change. Well, it can change, but I want you to convince me. Like, talk in the comments and tell me where I'm wrong. Don't just dislike the video and tell me I'm dumb. Anywho, and that's a straw man. No one actually did that. I'm just saying in general, you know. But remember MKX? Alien was destroying everybody, you know, like chip damage and safe on block combos. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was the Mishima show with a little capoeira sprinkled in. Ultra Street Fighter 4 had Yun, Onyakuma, Evil Ryu with endless combos. Elena had healing. You know what I mean? Like, fighting games have been broken for the longest time. So everyone's like, oh, this character's too strong. Azucena, oh, she's so strong. Okay, like, I mean, there's always been a thing. Dragunov's been spamming running 2 for the last how many years, bro? Like, honestly, every fighting game of the last generation had rough starts, but we persevered through it. The developers did what they could to fight through it. You know what I mean? And sometimes they make bad decisions, like banning modders in Tekken. That's terrible. But hopefully that's something that they can rectify. Maybe they can hire the modders to help them with the designs, but at the same time, imagine I make art and then someone makes a knockoff version of my art and they do way better than me. You know what I mean? Like, even if they're doing it for free, like, I could see how that could hurt someone's ego. But of course, you got to take your ego out of it and look at the business side and just have some ethics. You know, it could be seen as greedy, but, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing to call these out. I'm just saying, you know, some people need to calm their balls. The majority of these issues, they're going to fix themselves over the time, just like they always have. Broken characters, they'll get nerfed, they'll get buffed, whatever. Bad netcode, it'll get fixed. Greedy shop, it'll get fixed. Everything gets fixed, and that's how it's always been, bro. Street Fighter V released with like no story mode, no this, no that. Couch play was gone, whatever. You had to be online. They fixed it. Everything got fixed, bro. You know, like, our corner of the gaming industry is very niche. and it's finally getting some real buzz. You know, back in 2008, 2009, we didn't have all this exposure. You know, you just meet up with your friends at locals or arcades. You might have a sleepover with your cousin, your best friend, and you guys just mash buttons together and hope for the best, right? Tekken World Tour, people are making like whole livelihoods off their YouTube channels for these games now, man. Like, we're in such a positive time, and here comes all these people, rage bait, here come the hate train. So it's okay to criticize developers when they mess up, but again, try not to take the rage bait route. That's all I'm saying. And take some time to smell the roses, you know? I think we should bask in this current era of fighting games. The fact that Street Fighter led the charge, Tekken and Mortal Kombat came soon after, and if we're lucky, we'll see a new Smash Brothers. I mean, I look at this and I see smiles, bro. But that's just me personally. If you disagree, please let me know in the comments. If you agree, especially let me know in the comments and drown out the haters. Please leave a like or a dislike, and thank you for watching my video. You know, it's your boy Dope Fury. I can't think of a creative outro, so I'm just gonna hit you with it's your boy, the Dope Fury, the one and only, the almighty, and I will see you in the next video. Oh yeah.